Hi guys. Alright, number one. What is the purpose of journalism? Is it important to you, and is it a service you're willing to pay for, and why? The purpose of journalism is to inform readers of new information or perspectives that they never would have considered or even known about otherwise. I think journalism is very important in society, and I love reading articles that educate me on, new things going on around the world, new technologies, that kind of stuff. It's not something I would normally pay for because I normally don't run into subscription charges. The only time I really do is when I'm looking up stuff for school, but normally when I'm just looking at articles and stuff online, most of them are free. So number two is WikiLeaks, the collateral murder. What are your thoughts? Should this footage be available to the general public? What kind of impacts do you think it might have? And should the leaker or WikiLeaks be prosecuted? So I hated this video. I had to make myself keep watching it. I hated the careless attitudes of the soldiers involved, like they were playing a video game, just this no care for human life is just disgusting. But I definitely think information like this should be available to the people. I always gotten the sense that, we don't know everything when, that happens over when we're in war. Because I feel like there's no way for us to know that what they're telling us is true or false, so I have a hard time believing that everything they tell us is the truth. Negative, outcomes that I think could come from this are, that it kind of puts WikiLeaks on the spot more so than they already were. Now the government and the military are both going to be watching them very closely, no slipping up, no getting caught, because, they're looking for it. But positively, I think it's very eye-opening for people to see what's, things that are actually happening in the war, and kind of just prove that even the top news sources aren't getting the whole truth. So it's kind of just makes you think. I don't think that the leaker or WikiLeaks should be prosecuted. I think that it's information that we should be privy to if they're not going to at least admit to making mistakes. We don't need to know all the information if at least when you answer questions that they're the actual truth and not just what you want everybody to think. Because I feel like the news reporters that were killed, their families definitely deserved to at least have some sort of explanation besides, it was just a freak accident when it wasn't. So number three is the interview between Julian Assange and Stephen Colbert. And what are the arguments Assange makes justifying the footage versus Colbert's arguments condemning it, and who makes a stronger case. So Assange argues that people are given free speech in the Bill of Rights because free speech regulates government. Colbert argues that the video was edited and therefore is not a leak, since they changed the name, put in clips, personal information about the families and such. Obviously that's not how they got the file. And Colbert also argues that, people don't want to know about these kind of things, they want to live ignorantly. And Colbert also points out that the men did have guns on them and that there was a firefight nearby. So that was information we didn't know before. Assange rebutted Colbert's editing accusation by explaining that WikiLeaks promises its sources maximum political impact. So, and that the full source material was posted alongside the edited version. So people did have the option to watch both. Most people watched the WikiLeaks version, but they were hoping for that because they wanted to get the most exposure, they wanted the most people to see it. Obviously you wouldn't want to go through all this just to have, 1,000 people see this video. I think Assange makes the better argument because the people need to have some control over the government. I think checks and balances are extremely important, and without them things can go horribly wrong in the government. So my questions to you guys are, one, do you support what WikiLeaks is doing, and would you ever donate money to WikiLeaks? And number two is, do you think that most people would rather live ignorantly, as Colbert stated? And do you agree that ignorance is bliss? So I I do support what WikiLeaks is doing, but I probably wouldn't donate money to them. Even if I was able to, I think they've like gotten cut off from a lot of organizations. But I don't normally donate to things like that. But I do support, you know, them educating the public when things are being hidden from us and we need to know them. It's hard to say. Like, I kind of think that there is a good portion of Americans that would like to just live ignorantly and that do. They don't want to know the bad things that are going on in the world. They don't want to know the bad things that are going on down the street. I don't want to live ignorantly. I mean, it was nice when I was like a little kid, but I mean, I don't want to go through life like that. I would like to know, you know, what's going on around me, what's going to affect my future, and that kind of stuff. So,